This is a brief overview of the character progress that I have so far. Started detailing out some of the back, I guess droid we can call it. I'm not sure. I just wanted to gather some point of interest because the primary view for the player will be behind the player's back. So in vein of Zelda Minish Cap, I wanted to have some type of entity that's connected to the player somehow, maybe giving him hints or showing him how to use his powers and stuff like that. So I thought of one of the coolest that I could remember in movies is like R2-D2 in the back of an X-Wing, so that'd be cool to have some type of droid backpack, kind of like also Luke Skywalker with Yoda. Just have this guy back here giving him input, you know, spinning and doing his little thing and talking and stuff. And his tail was kind of like a last minute addition. Just seemed kind of cool to add another area of interest, another area to have secondary motion. Like I'll have these guys be essentially clock physics that are solving back here while he's running around and stuff. But I feel it'd be nice to have some type of organically living, you know, type of element attached to the back. So that's what the tail kind of came about. Maybe it plugs into different areas in the level or whatever, maybe gains you access. Could also use it as some type of a zip line or something like that, or even like a pogo spring jump or something. I still haven't quite decided what its usage is, but just it looked kind of cool, and I definitely can. I'll have no shortage of ideas for things that will work. So I'll move on over to. So this guy's in his high poly right now, which means he's not game ready by any means. No textures. It's just flat colors, just so I can tell what's going to be, you know, a breakup of interest. Like primary, you know, is going to be white. That's the basic shape of the silhouette, and then secondary goes into, you know, gray tones, and then tones of accents has another color. Just wanted to separate it. Just what I call it flats, basically. Just kind of deal with in the flat stage for a while. It opens up, you know, creativity just is still there before, you know, you start making choices on what materials is going to make up this character and all that stuff. You're still in the creative realm. So I like to export the high poly stuff out into the engine just to kind of get a quick view of what it's going to look like. To me, it's close representation, you know, give or take, you know, textures and stuff like that. It just it really helps me out gauging what's working. So I exported this guy out as a FBX, super high poly. You know, it's probably like 500,000. I don't know how many polys he is. There's a lot of polys, but so these guys are out here in just a test map that I have. So as you can see, like the quad ox are back here, just doing a little song and dance. So this is just kind of give you an insight of what somewhat textured. This guy's probably 80 to 90% textured and final, ready to be in game. So it went through the stage of, you know, I went with him in a comical phase, cartoony phase, and then just kind of ended up in this middle range of, like, you know, Pixar meets grit and grime. So it's kind of where I ended up with these guys, which I really like that as a tone for the whole game. So it's kind of like Thundercats meets Pixar is a cool way I'm kind of going about the whole entire art style. So as you can tell, like the little droid is going to have some glowy bits, which, you know, will gather some type of visual interest as you're cruising with him. And you definitely want to have some type of shiny parts and some saggy parts within the cloth stuff. So there'll be a lot of light play as he's moving around, and as it's solving, it'll look really nice. Yeah, so I just wanted to see how the back would look. I think it's a really cool area of interest to look at, especially once it's executed at another higher level. It'll look really nice. I just wanted to see how it's proportionate visually to the front of the character. You know, even though this is at an early stage, I can still kind of gauge how it's going to turn out at the end, and it looks like it's doing well so far. I might change my mind tomorrow. Who knows what happens? So I really like in a lot of the Zeldas, there's this like a duality battle, and it's really a common story theme of like fighting your evil self. You know, there's like, you know, Bizarro Superman and stuff like that, and He-Man kind of had this evil He-Man version of himself, and he was, you know, in blue. I thought that was kind of cool, so it was kind of like a throwback to good old He-Man. Have a blue version of yourself and that you fight in the game later on, which is essentially like your inner struggle, your own battle with yourself. Always a cool motif and stuff. I always appreciated it because everybody kind of goes through their own inner struggles, and it's good to kind of illustrate that. So I'll show you guys what